Wisconsin Senator Ron Johnson joins me now. Mr. Senator, what do you make of Zelensky not attending this meeting next week? A deal probably wouldn't be signed without him, would it?
Well, good morning, Stuart. I'm sure he'll be well informed in terms of what the negotiating terms are. From my standpoint, this is a really intelligent approach. I was involved in negotiation between Serbia and Kosovo, two nations who were at war. 25 years after the war, there is still a lot of hate between those sides. And what Ambassador Grinnell did at that point in time, he forged a deal based on economic interests. What's the benefit to both parties? It's the exact same thing that President Trump is trying to do right now, is look at an economic benefit. You're not going to dissipate the hate from this horrific, bloody stalemate. But if you can offer something that's a win-win-win for all parties, give them a good excuse for stopping the bloodshed, that's the only way out of this. And, oh, by the way, the economic benefits of starting to extract those minerals could help rebuild Ukraine, help pay off the United States, could actually benefit Russia. A lot of those minerals are in the Russian-occupied territories as well. So, again, hate is hard to dissipate, but the best way forward is focus on economic development, something they can all agree on, something that benefits all parties. Again, I think it's a brilliant approach. And I think hopefully Zelensky has come to his senses and recognized that as well. It's the best security guarantee he'll get out of America. Americans do not want American troops in Ukraine. As much as we support the Ukrainians, we do not support sending American troops, and he has to recognize that reality.
President Trump says he's pushing to negotiate a nuclear deal with Iran. He sent a letter to open up talks. Watch this.
You wrote a letter to the Khomeini?
Yes.
When did you send the letter?
Yesterday.
And you said you better negotiate, or we want you to negotiate?
I didn't say you better. I said
Okay.
I hope you're going to negotiate, because it's going to be a lot better for Iran.
What do you make of that, a new approach to Iran?
President Trump wants peace. He doesn't want to be able to defeat enemies. He wants fewer enemies. And so what he's trying to do is, build up a military so we have peace through strength from that standpoint. But what can we do to lower the temperature here? It's so easy for Iran. I mean, all they have to do is give up their nuclear weapon technology. Their alliances with Hezbollah and Hamas have been smashed. They're not going to be able to, stop fomenting, stop sponsoring terror throughout the world, accept peace. And you could lift those sanctions and the Iranian people would be so much better off. We have no beef with the majority of the Iranian people. We have a beef with their ayatollahs who are the largest state sponsor of terror. So again, President Trump, I totally appreciate his approach. He wants peace. He wants fewer enemies. We can't impose our will on everybody. We have to accept people for who they are, but we certainly can try and accept that and lead with our own values and do everything we can to avoid war.
Some significant developments overseas. How about this domestically? At yesterday's cabinet meeting, Trump assured the department heads that they are in charge of staffing, not Elon Musk. Looks like the president kind of worked out the kinks in the DOGE process. You happy with that?
Listen, I truly appreciate what Elon Musk is doing, what President Trump is doing with him. We need to understand and expose the grotesque levels of waste, fraud, and abuse. The trick is, how do you take those exposures and translate that into legislation and true savings? I can't necessarily do it all on executive action, particularly if Trump loses in terms of empowerment. So there's things we can do in terms of rescission, bypasses the 60-vote threshold, also budget reconciliation. So it's going to take a lot of work. It's going to be going through our budgets line by line, 5,000 or 6,000 lines at a time. Elon's taking a look at all these contracts, exposing it. A lot of hard work ahead, but I'm very optimistic that we can dramatically reduce the size, scope, and cost of government and return to pre-pandemic levels of spending. This is absurd. Stuart, we went from $4.4 trillion in 2019 to $7.3. There's no justification for that.
Got it. Senator Ron Johnson, thanks very much for joining us. Always appreciated.